Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. I'm really excited to sit down and chat with you. I've had the opportunity. Actually, I didn't realize this when I first messaged you. I've been following you for about a year already. Like
Oh, great.
in like late 2022, we had started doing or I started doing a country radio show, or like starting to lay the groundwork. And I had reached out to you about playing some of your music back then.
Oh,
So yeah, it was once I saw you pop up on Instagram and I messaged you, I was like, oh wait, we've had a conversation in the past. So
yeah, I know her. Oh, that's nice. That's good to
but
know.
so for anybody that's kind of getting to meet you for the first time and getting introduced to you, what's kind of your background story? What got you into music?
Yeah, I've always loved music, always played music from sort of primary school years. Always wanted to be a singer since I was tiny, and went to classical vocal training from about the age of 10, and then picked up the guitar at 13 and kind of ran with it. I've got wonderful parents who were really happy to nurture that gift, I guess, or the talent. And they took me around every weekend to talent quests and country music festivals, and really got me immersed in it. And I've been in it ever since. It's definitely had its ebbs and flows, some ebbs longer than flows, and some flows longer than ebbs, because life happens. But
Hmm.
it's great. I always get led back to my country music career. And I guess the last few years, since about 2020, I've been releasing more music. I've been writing more than ever, and it's really at the stage now where it's a full-time gig, and it's taking off. And I'm grateful for it all. I love it. It's a great ride.
What do you think the catalyst was for you to kind of kick your songwriting into high gear there? Like you said, 2020 was kind of that year where you kind of started writing more. Was there like a specific reason, something that happened, or?
A lot happened, I think. I went through a major relationship change, major self change. But leading up to 2020, leading up to that COVID time, dare I say, I was doing a ton of cover gigs, just like pub, club, playing everyone else's songs, 2, 3 gigs every weekend. And I was really burnt out. I was at the stage where I didn't really want to pick up my guitar through the week for anything. So I just played the gigs and that was it. And I think that made my songwriting suffer,
Mm.
because I lost that little bit of spark and that little bit of passion. So when we got locked down and I couldn't work, I picked the guitar up for myself and I started playing what I wanted to play and writing. And I kind of from then on got really strict with what I said yes and no to in terms of cover gigs. And met my partner, and he said to me, "We don't need to do that anymore. I don't want to be, going here, there, and everywhere every weekend for nothing. Not for nothing, but
Mm.
if I'm gonna, pack up and go somewhere on the weekend, I want it to be because it's a Katie Brooke show, because people are coming to watch me sing my songs, and yeah, to keep that passion alive and be a real artist, I guess."
Fair enough. It's always cool when you kind of have those moments of realization when you make that change and then you find somebody that supports those changes and is just kind of like helping guide you towards whatever that end goal is.
Yeah, I'm very, very lucky in that sense. I don't have a partner who goes, "No, that's off the table. We can't make that happen."
Right.
I think his favorite sentence is, "I make shit happen." He always
Right.
tells me, "I'm gonna make it happen." So
Nice.
I'm really lucky. I think he's quietly hoping that I'm gonna turn into some kind of Taylor Swift so he doesn't have to work anymore, but little does he know, it's a pretty
Fair.
tricky game.
Right, right. Um, so when you kind of made that switch in your mind that okay, you're going to be more selective, which I think the pandemic, not to sidetrack on my own question here, but I think the pandemic taught a lot of people that um, this was it gave them put them in perspective that you need to do things for yourself because tomorrow is not guaranteed. So everything that you do, you need to be happy with those choices. And if you're just doing endless cover gigs because you like to play music and those just happen to be what pay, but you're not happy doing it, you
Mm.
know.
That was the playoff because cover gigs paid so well and
Mm.
I was getting popular. I had a really good agency. Everyone wanted me for cover gigs. It wasn't an issue at all. I could call up now and book myself, a year of cover gigs. But
Right.
uh, yeah, I guess now, I'm starting from that singer-songwriter point. I have to go right back and start at the beginning in that, but at that higher level, and try and get into festivals as Katie Brooke now, and try and get gigs as Katie Brooke and sell tickets, which is a completely different ball game to cover gigs. But I was under the assumption that, everyone's saying that I need to work hard, so I'll just work hard and do all these cover gigs. But I was kind of working hard in the wrong aspect. You need to work smarter, not harder. Don't burn yourself out doing cover gigs unless you really love that, because some people do.
For sure, for sure. So back to my original question, but when you kind of made that transition, who were you listening to as far as like music? Were you listening to anybody for influences or?
Yeah. Oh, I switch around. I have a lot of favorites and a lot of genres within country. I pretty much love all of the country stuff, but I can go from sort of a more alt and bluegrass sound to even mainstream pop stuff. But I always loved Alison Krauss, Tyler Childers, Zach Bryan. I love a deep song. I love emotion. The lighter stuff, the party stuff doesn't really get me as much as music about real stuff, real struggles, real moments. That will always grab me. And I think that's why I love lyrics more as well, because I really seek out to hear those really meaningful lyrics. And I think that's why Zach Bryan always kind of pulled me in with his stuff.
Fair enough, fair enough. So you did just release a new song it was 2 weeks ago, right? My brain's not completely fried yet, is it?
Yeah, I think it was. You have a
Oh,
lot of stuff on your plate, so you're doing well
oh,
to
yeah.
remember that.
Hey, I'm trying. I am trying so hard.
You're doing really
Kind
well.
of, tell us what's the story of the song? What's the name of it?
Yeah, it's called Too Far Down. So yeah, roughly 2 weeks ago I released it. It's probably my favorite release yet. I really enjoyed the whole process of this song. It was really organic, really intuitive. I didn't sit down and go, right, I'm going to write a song today. I just had these few lines come up for me and I just wrote. I filled the page with the lyrics. I didn't really edit it much at all. It just kind of fell out, and then the melody fell out. And it was one of those beautiful songs where you go, yes, it's done. I don't have to really nut it out. I don't have to work too hard. But those songs can be great as well. But I was really lucky, and I took it to my producer, and we had a few lined up to do as a single, but we kept going back to Too Far Down, even though I said, oh, it's not that commercial, it's a little folky, it's got a little bit of a bluegrass edge, it's not what the cool kids are listening to. But lucky I'm not cool, because this song kind of fits for me. It's about comparison and just, I guess, standing in your power when it comes to choices in life. And I think it strongly reflects, for me, about my career. It's sort of more written in that kind of sense, about going my own way and blazing my own trail. But it's the kind of song, it's very metaphorical, so it can be interpreted a few different ways, which I really like. And yeah, I'm really enjoying it, and it's been received really well, so I'm proud.
Awesome, awesome. And it's out.
I think I lost you.
No, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now. I've lost
Okay,
your video a little bit, but I can
okay,
hear
okay. That's fine. I'm not worried about the video right now. It's just as long as
you.
the so is this Too Far Down ultimately gonna turn into like a bigger project? Do you hope to release it as an album, or where do you kind of stand there?
Yeah, it is the beginning. I have got about 5, 6 more songs with that, and I'm still writing. So I can either keep writing and do an album, or what I've got there now can be an EP. But I'll probably do another single before that, or two. Yeah, that's the thing. When you're an indie artist, you have so many decisions to make on your own. You don't have people telling you what to do, which can be, it's a great thing, but it's kind of like, wow, it's all on me, all of these choices. So I'll see where it leads next year.
Awesome, awesome. Fair enough. The one thing that I did want to talk about, because I noticed it right as we were kind of logging on here, because we had another contestant on the songwriting prize that is a part of
Oh,
the fundraiser here. Magdalia, and she kind of introduced me to it, and then I realized that you were also competing in it. So I was like, oh, that's kind of cool. So
Wow, I didn't know that. That's amazing. Small
I
world.
right.
Yeah.
So for anybody that wasn't here when we did that interview, what is kind of the songwriting prize?
The songwriting prize is through Listen Up Music, and Listen
Mm,
Up Music is this amazing organization that basically looks out for artists and their mental health because they know what the journey can be like and how taxing it can be on us mentally. So it's a whole organization driven to support that, which is beautiful to start with. And then every year they open up the songwriting prize, which is I think in its 8th year.
mm,
And it's multi-genre, so it's across the board. You don't have to be country or pop or whatever. You can just submit your song. And I'm a bit strange with competitions. I kind of, always get that, oh, I hate competitions, I hate that vibe.
fair.
But this one doesn't feel like a competition at all. It's really just a big showcase.
Mm,
And so there were about 350 people, I think, over 300, enter their songs. And I thought, yeah, why the hell not? Let's put
right.
this song in. And I put a song in that I had been really hoping that she'd make something of herself, this song. It's called Too Much, Not Enough, because it means a lot to me. It's one of my favorite songs off my debut album. And so I entered it and it got into the top 100. Then it got into the top 70 and I performed at the semi-final. And I thought, well, that's it. That's a win. That's fantastic. I got to the semi-final. Awesome. Walked off stage. I really did not expect to get any further because the contestants were just amazing. Like there were reggae bands and rock
Nice.
and pop and everything. And here's just me with it was just such a surprise. And now tomorrow night, the 300 contestants.
Nice. I love that it's all includes all genres. That it's not just kind of singling in on one genre, whether it's like the singer songwriter. Well, I mean, I guess technically you're all singer songwriters, right? So
Yeah, exactly. I do too. It's different. Like I haven't been involved in anything that's multi-genre really, so it's been really nice for me.
nice. And this is your first year competing?
It is. Yeah,
Mm,
it's my first year and it's probably, as I said, I don't love competitions.
mhm.
Love getting the awards, but the whole process. But because it feels so genuine and so lovely and it just looks after the artists, and mental health, it's for a good cause. I'd be happy to do this one year after year.
Yeah, for sure. So the finals for that is today, technically, right?
For you guys, yeah, because
Yeah,
oh no, you're behind. So that'll be Thursday night here, Sydney
yeah,
time,
yeah.
which you
Oh,
guys would just be waking up to your Thursday, I think.
yes.
That's always fun, isn't it? Thinking
And
about that.
that was the issue that I was having with doing this fundraiser, at least initially, was like, oh, I have to like manually figure out the time zones. And since the
Yeah.
pandemic uh hasn't been a big thing, I haven't done as many interviews with people from like Sydney or
Yeah. Oops. I can't hear you.
no, hello?
Now I can hear you. Now I can hear you.
Okay, perfect. Okay, we'll get through this, I promise. So
I think it's the service here.
yeah. Um, so kind of looking forward, what are your plans for the rest of the year? What do you got kind of on your plate for the rest of the year?
Got a couple of massive festivals, and I'm really excited actually. One's up in North Queensland. It's
Mm,
called the Buckwild Country Barn Sessions, and that's during New Year's. It's on New Year's Eve, so it's going to be a very fun one. And then I've got Tamworth Country Music Festival, which is our really big country music festival in January, which is kind of this year, I guess, almost. I
yeah,
can't believe the year's nearly gone, but then yeah, I'll head back into the studio and get these next songs ready for next year.
nice. Tamworth is one of my bucket list festivals to attend, as
Oh
just as part
yeah,
of Live and Amplified in general.
yeah.
So
Oh, it would be amazing. Yeah, for you.
it's just one of those things because I've never been to Australia. I when I first started working with musicians from Australia during the pandemic, it was like, okay, as soon as everything kind of lifts and it's not a big deal, I'm coming to Australia. And then I found out how
Yeah.
expensive it is to go to
Oh,
Australia, and I'm
yeah.
like, oh,
Yeah.
dang it. Okay. So
And vice versa for you guys as well. It's pretty exy to get over there.
yeah, yeah, yeah. So with the when you go into the studio, you mentioned that in the new year you'll look to go into the studio after you get done with Tamworth and all that stuff. Do you know exactly what you're going to record? Or is it like songs that are already written, or are you kind of still working on that?
Yeah, still, I'd love to write a few more, but I've got two that are single worthy. So
Mm,
they're already demoed. We'll keep working on those. And then I've got about three or four that are nice kind of ballad tracks that we'll start to demo soon.
nice, awesome, awesome.
Yeah.
And then just kind of as far as shows go, obviously you got the grand finale of the songwriting prize, and then the couple of festivals. But do you play shows consistently? How often do you normally play shows? Like when things are going pretty good for you?
Yeah, so it's been just festival focused the next few
Hmm,
months. I really just wanted to try and make some festivals. So, I mean, we just squeeze it in when we can. I used to always wait for inspiration. I wouldn't be writing unless there was something to write about. But now I kind of sit down and I'll mull out, like, what are some good titles? What are some good concepts? What would I love to express or write about? So I'm trying to do that, at least a couple of times a week now, instead of just for, when inspiration strikes. So that's been working really well. And I just did a songwriting retreat last weekend, and that just kind of gave me a little new breath of fresh air. Like, it really lifted me to try and write a little bit more.
now that you're a mother, that you have to be more strategic with your writing? Do you have to like be like, okay, baby's down for a nap, I have 20 minutes, or like however long the baby sleeps, you have like 20?
Yeah.
Do you find you have to be a little bit more tactful with your writing, or do you still kind of find that ability to be a little bit more spontaneous?
Yeah, I think I'm really lucky. I mean, she's a toddler now. It was
Mm,
easier when she was a baby. She'd kind of lay there and you could write at any time.
mhm.
Now it's like, what are you climbing on? What are you opening up there? What are you, where are you
Fair.
going? But I'm pretty lucky. She loves to hang out in the music room. She will
Mm.
just kind of cruise around while I'm writing. So I'm finding it's pretty easy to be spontaneous. But if I'm really working on something and need to get it done, then I'll make sure that as soon as my partner gets home, he can kind of have her, and I'll go in and finish that without any interruptions.
Fair enough, fair enough. My sister's currently dealing with that. Her kid just turned 1 and started to learn how to
Uh,
walk, and is
yeah,
getting into a whole bunch of things, and yeah, she sends me
that's my
videos all
life.
the time, and I'm like, "Man, that's rough." So,
It's like the hardest work, but the most fun you'll ever do. Like the
right,
most fun you'll ever have. So yeah,
right.
it's worth it.
It My buddy once told me that looking after a toddler is like looking after a tiny drunk person.
Yeah,
So
yeah, definitely.
it's like, oh man, you're not selling this one on me because I hate dealing with drunk people. So you're not selling this one for me. So
It is really like that, actually.
yeah,
It's a great way to explain
fair.
it. Yeah.
Um, so if anybody wants to check out your music, check out any shows or catch you at Tamworth or any of that stuff, where's the best place to find you online, socials, all that fun stuff?
Yeah. Socials, Katie Brooke, Katie Brooke Music at Instagram, katiebrookmusic.com. That's my website, and I always put
Mm.
up my shows and all the updates. So you'll find me there.
Awesome, awesome. Well, Kitty Brooke, thank you so much for joining us. I really appreciate you taking the time to sit down and fight pancreatic cancer with us. This is this is our third year doing the 24-hour podcast fundraiser. Well, technically second year. The first year we did like a 72-hour thing. I was very extremely
Wow.
motivated that first year, and I will never do another 72-hour thing again. It, by
Well, you've done it now.
Yeah, by day two, I was like, yeah, this was a terrible idea. So, but
Been there, but, oh, it's
yeah,
amazing what you do. It really
thank,
is. Well done, Tom.
thank you so much. I really appreciate you taking the time, and we'll be right back here in a few minutes.